Well, guys, it's kind of weird, but today's the day that I'm cutting this thing up. It's kind of strange. Like I've said before, I've driven this truck for 13 years, built it. I got it 14 plus years ago now, and yeah, it's kind of weird. So yeah, today's the day that I'm gonna be cutting the cab off of it and getting it prepped. But the first thing I got to do is actually load up the old Crown Vic body, and ironically, we're gonna be using the truck to haul off all the old Crown Vic parts. So let's get that stuff loaded up first. Well, we got everything loaded up, and let's take this stuff off of the scrapyard. And then also, a bonus of doing this is I'm gonna see how much this truck weighs. So we'll do a before swap weight and a after swap weight. So I'm kind of excited to see what it weighs. Like I said in previous video, I weighed it a while ago, but I don't remember what that was. I think it was like mid threes. And also it had a different engine at that time, a lot of different changes. So I'm kind of curious to see what this thing weighs. So let's get this stuff dropped off. Alright guys, well, we're pulling into the scrapyard now. Let's see how much all this stuff weighs and get it unloaded. All unloaded. Gotta pull back around to the scales and see what we pull around and see what I weigh empty, and see what they give me for all this. All right, so let's look at this. So we crossed the scales at 49.40, and then with empty with me in the truck, we were 41.40. So the scrap that we had in the back was 800 pounds. So I'm guessing without me and without some of the stuff I got in the truck, there's not a whole lot in here. I'm gonna say that the truck's probably 39.80, 39.90, somewhere in there. So it's definitely a lot heavier than I thought it was, by a couple hundred pounds. So yeah, after I get the swap all done, I'll run it back out of the same place and see if they won't let me weigh it again. Well, I'm all unloaded and heading home. I'm gonna tear this thing apart now. It's kind of bittersweet. This is the last time I'm gonna drive it like this, so it's weird. It's really weird. I was talking with my wife last night about it. We went for a drive in it, and yeah, 13 years, and now I'm gonna change everything. So, but it's all for the better. So here we go. Let's do one last quick rim. This is honestly one of those where do you even start moments. I guess I'm gonna start by just getting a couple rough measurements, you know, for where the rear wheel is, in the wheel well. Because if you remember in one of the previous videos, I found out that this truck is like 2 or 2.5 inches shorter in wheelbase than a stock truck. So I don't know if this wheels moved back a little bit in the wheel well from when I put the other frame clip on it, but I'm gonna get some measurements there, and actually had a couple of you guys on Instagram measured your trucks for me. And I wanna say, I'll have to look back, but I think they were like 39 inches or somewhere in there. So I'll have to look back, get these measurements and tear it apart. I think I got everything loose, so I should be able to pull this clip off now. You can actually get a little bit better look at the 73 Chevy truck front suspension grafted onto the stock rails so I can run the bumper. Yeah, and it's welded together right there. Man, that engine's big in there. Well, now it's on to cutting on this cab. Now I need to take this trim loose, get the carpet kind of peeled back a little bit, and then that way I can cut along here. I might need to pull the heater box down, and then I'm gonna have to go to the other side, pull some of the wiring down and away, like pull the computer off and pull all that away. Get the steering column unbolted from the dash. Hopefully the brake pedal will stay put. I haven't looked yet. Well, up until this point I could turn back. But that's no fun. So here we go. All right, progress update. It is cut all the way along the firewall, the sides and the top. Right up under there you can see the light. And then I have got it cut all the way along there. So all that's left is the back of the cab, and then minus, you know, maybe a wire or two here and there, we'll be ready to lift this thing up. All right, you want to help me
Yes.
monitor this thing?
Okay. What am I watching? Am I pushing the button?
Yeah, just push the button.
Okay. Okay.
Alrighty. Hold on.
You built that, didn't you?
What?
That temp gauge in the gap and the date. Gauge.
No, the temp gauge is all. It's temp gauge is packed. Just a regular one. Yeah. It's kind of custom fit into the dash, but
Yeah.
the fuel gauge is one I built.
Oh, that's what it was.
Go ahead and pump it again.
Making sure it's going up.
Okay. Okay. Oh, just trying to take some of the floor with it. On this side. How's the floor look on your side?
I'm looking at it right now. Just trying to take it. You'll have to come around and loosen it up.
Oh, that's right. I forgot this thing. The bottom of this rocker rolls under some.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
I bent it out for the cross member, but nothing else.
Crazy. It's pretty weird looking.
Yeah. Okay, so Crown Vic pulled in, cab up, and I'm gonna try and set it down for the first time and see how things sit. Well guys, that's going to wrap it up for this episode. And as you can see, the Hawk is just a shell of its former self. The cab's still sitting on the chassis like you saw in those previous clips. It was just, I set it on those 2x4s just so I could pull it in and out. In the next episode, I'm actually going to work on actually getting that body set down the rest of the way and getting it mounted to the new frame. As always guys, like, and I greatly appreciate it if you guys would subscribe. Helps the channel grow. If you guys have any questions or comments, leave those down below. And as always, just keep watching and stay tuned for the next episode. Thank you guys for watching.